here. This is a haven. This is our safe haven. As long, and you know why? It's because it's a Christian country that's very good to us.
Yeah.
It's American Christians. They've been very good to us. And as long as American Christians run this country, Jews have a very good life here, and we don't have to feel like we're on the run anymore. These people are not out to kill us, And you know what hurts me? You know what bothers me?
What bothers you?
When I see Jews going, oh, the worst thing that can happen is that the... Uh-oh. Is that bad? No, that's a big enough lead, right? 41! Can they hold at that? That's perfect. I'm 42. That's what I want. And they say, oh, the worst thing that can happen is the Christians. Oh! And I'm like, you fool. The reason why if things are so good for us Jews here today is because of the Christians, not in spite of them. They are not the enemy. The enemy is secular liberalism. That's our enemy. The enemy is heretics and morons who pervert Judaism, and they come up with offshoots of Judaism, and they preach all kinds of crap on the radio. That's our enemy today. Those are our enemies. It's not the Christians.
Now you made some notes for this week's Torah portion.
Oh, you want me to go over those?
Yeah.
Do you have? I thought we'd finish your thing first. You kicked everybody out of the room, huh?
No, I had to reboot, and so go ahead and.
No, but I want to hear your things.
I know, but I got to pull it up.
All right, so I made some notes.
Okay, so share with us from the word of the Lord. And the word of the Lord came unto Rabbi Rabbs, saying.
So the Rambam says in his Igros Taimon, when our enemies insult us, it's a reason to be happy. Where do we know that from? Well, we saw in this week's Parsha what? Because of our enemies, Yaakov Avinu ended up doing what? Because Esau wanted to kill him, he was sent into exile, and he was sent to Lavan.
Yeah.
To Padamaram, right? And he was sent to Lavan, and because Lavan was so mean to him there, and kept switching the burden or whatever.
Yeah.
So we ended up with 4 women.
Yeah.
Was that important? Well, you need a lot of women if you want to spit out all the tribes of the Jewish people, right? Because there's supposed to be 12 tribes of the Jews. That's a lot of work for even one frummy with an SUV.
Yeah.
Even one frum woman, with an SUV, 12 is going to be quite a load for her.
Cheaper by the dozen.
Right? So it's easier to do it's easier to create 12 with 4 different women. So if you have multiple wives, you can do a lot more procreating.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Judaism is built on polygamy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's something I want to say on that. When the Mormons talk about their polygamy and stuff, it is the height of hypocrisy for a Jew to complain about that.
Right, keep going.
Okay, can I say it again?
Yeah, say everything you want.
When the Mormons have polygamy, right? And a Jew says, oh, that's disgusting, that's terrible, polygamy, bad, boo, and this and that, that Jew needs an education. Because they need to know that, our entire Jewish nation was built only because of polygamy. Multiple wives is a Jewish concept. It is not considered adultery when a man has more than one woman. And multiple wives was permitted to Jews according to the Torah, according to Judaism, and practiced until only 1,000 years ago. So from the time of Mount Sinai, well, not even Mount Sinai, from the time of Yaakov, which was like 200 years ago, or 2200, till 2050, whatever, for thousands of years we did that. I can't do numbers in my head. I never took math. I'm one of these frummies who never learned math skills. Okay. So for thousands of years, Jews had no problem with marrying multiple wives. Then, in fact, that's Ashkenaz made it forbid it starting 1,000 years ago. But I want to say something. The Sephardim kept doing it, and in Yemen they had multiple wives. Jews in Yemen had multiple wives right up until 1948. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
They're only monogamous for 60 years.
Yeah.
60 years ago, Yemen men had more than one wife. The reason why Sephardim made an edict, a gezerah or whatever, and they forbid multiple wives, is only because until that time they had lived amongst themselves, which was not a problem. But when the state of the Israel, that eyesore in the Middle East, was created in 1948, that forced Ashkenazis and Sephardic Jews to live together, and it seemed like a little weird that the Ashkenazi Jews did not allow more than one wife. But meanwhile, the Sephardim had more than one wife. So to create that was creating a schism or a disparity or whatever you want to say, the Sephardim got together and they said, you know what, we'll also just have one wife.
Yeah.
And that's the way it's been. Why am I talking about that? So anyways, the point of this is that we should be happy when our enemies mistreat us. But because of our friend Esau, who threatened to kill us, who threatened to kill Yaakov and caused him to run away, and because of Lavan, who was so mean to him, because of those two, so Yaakov had 4 wives, and from them came all the Jewish people. The same thing applies nowadays. How do we see it? Because we have new enemies today. Who are our enemies today? We talked about it a little bit earlier.
The left, the BBC, the Arab Islamic world.
Our enemies today are heretics and morons, right? Jewish heretics and morons, the liberal secularists, which include the UN, the European Union, France, the BBC, the LA Times, anti-Semitic university professors, some real pieces of work in Hollywood, and self-hating Jews all over the planet. Those are our enemies today. You notice I didn't even mention Arabs or Islam because, you know, they are way down on the list. They do a lot less damage. People say, oh, who's the biggest enemies today? The State of Israel. And they go, Hamas, Hezbollah. I don't think so. They don't even make the list. Israel could wipe out both of them if they really wanted to. Israel's big enemies today is world opinion, and that is the UN, the EU, France, BBC, LA Times, and professors. And these are the enemies. The true anti-Semites, they are our enemies today. And they're basically the same enemies of Jews worldwide. And it just happens to be in the State of Israel. You know, and they love to point to the actions of the State of Israel and say, no, it's separated. It's got nothing to do with the fact of Jewish bullshit. If this wasn't a Jewish country, they would never make those complaints. You know, bigger atrocities take place all over the fucking globe. They never complain about it. Right? Arabs shoot rockets over every day into Beirut. They never have a problem with that. Because killing Jew is okay. It's open season on killing Jews. Right? That's never a problem for a goy. For an anti-Semitic goy. What's happening here?
And the Bengals just intercepted Ben Roethlisberger. They got the ball.
Did he rape any women?
13.
When he was down, did he rape any women?
Well, he hasn't been convicted of raping any women, but there have been a few complaints.
I told you, but the fact that he lied on that thing tells me everything I need to know about him. He's a liar. Why should I believe anything he says?
Look at him closing. Whoa.
That's a fingertip. That's a fingertip. That's a highlight. That's a web gem. Okay. So anyways, when all these goyim hate us, right?
Yeah.
All these enemies all over the planet, they hate us. And they've been so mean to them. So we should be happy that they exist, according to the Rambam in Igeris Teman.
Judaism also likes a bit of anti-Semitism because it keeps Jews working hard and looking after each other. So some anti-Semitism.
It makes us want to stay closer to God and His Torah.
Yeah.
So we should thank Him because He causes Jews not to want to assimilate.
Yeah.
He causes Jews to want to grab hold of the Torah.
Yeah.
You know, He does good things. So when a goy calls the Jewish state a terrorist state, you love that one?
Mm-hmm.
Or creates a moral equivalency between Arabs firing rockets on Jewish civilians, which Jewish children who get blown up by the rockets, or when a Jew slanders those of us who keep the Torah with demeaning names such as Orthodox or ultra-Orthodox or extra crispy Orthodox or religious fanatics or zealots, right? Well, we should be happy.